had on the outcome of the game?
I think it was pretty much the game. I feel like that third quarter they just extended that lead, hit some tough shots, made some great plays for themselves and defended well. They came out in that second half to set a tone, went on that run that pretty much didn't give us a chance.
I know historically you watch film after every game. You watch the entirety of the game. Over the years, how do you feel like that's helped you and kind of transferred into improvements on the court?
Yeah, I mean, when you watch film, the game slows down a little bit more. You're able to see the mistakes you made, at a slower time. On the court, everything's moving 1,000 miles per hour. So when you see it on film, you can tell yourself during the game that, you saw this particular coverage or, action or a way to counter it in the game. So film just gets you to slow down in the game because you've seen things before, you've seen it multiple times, you see how slower pace, and then when the actual game speed comes, it feels like film. You know exactly what to do, where to go, what, drive or move or pass to make.
Quick follow-up to that, weeks ago, Bobby Portis had mentioned, like, one of the things he noticed is the fact that, like, just the mentality of this team, and he mentioned the fact that you watch film, and you'll even say, hey, Bobby, like, look at this. How do you think that even builds camaraderie, whether it's on the plane or on the bus, and you're watching film, and then guys see it as well?
It was trust. I mean, I've been saying them all year about not being able to get on the practice court as much this season. So whenever you got a chance, to talk through something that you see in the game with a teammate and try to get on the same page, it's going to make things a lot easier. So when you're on the court, you've already had that conversation. You already know what each other is expecting for something to happen. So, I mean, yeah.
Eric, name?
Now I'm curious, what speed do you watch clips at? Half speed, quarter speed, full speed? When I'm watching defense, sometimes I'm like, I gotta go to quarter speed because
definitely. First, you let it run at normal speed. Then definitely got to slow it down. Frame by frame. That's what I like to do, just to see the little angles or to see the different rotations or missteps and stuff like that.
I'm curious for you guys. The Celtics have beaten you guys by shooting a bunch of threes before. Like, that's something that's happened in the last couple of years. But typically, it's like pick and pop bigs. Tonight just felt like off the bounce contested threes. Like, do you take something out of that? That hey, at least we forced them into that, or is there something that you do better the next time you see them to try to take some of those away?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I do feel like they hit a lot of tough threes, but also I think they got into the paint, made us rotate one too many times to find that open guy. So it's the balance of being able to, guard the ball and, force them to miss those contested, threes or mid-range off the dribble, and then also keep the guy in front and not rely on our rotations or scramble mode as much. But in that third quarter, they did a great job, and like you said, hitting tough shots, also breaking down our defense and finding an open man. They didn't sell it too many times.
Jim Wazarski.
Chris, this is not to minimize, obviously, the protocols at all. I mean, this is the second time you guys have had I guess, pregame, a teammate go into the protocol. Did that, I don't want to say it's the same as Denver, but, I mean, was that the same kind of pregame where it's like kind of finding out early and wondering if you might play? Like, how did that kind of go, and did that maybe affect anything, coming into tonight?
I mean, whenever we're down a player, it's definitely going to affect us a little bit in some way. To have two out with PJ also definitely threw a wrinkle into some things, but I mean that's just the season that we're in right now with the pandemic going on. There are uncertainty some nights of what's going to happen, who's going to be able to play, but we have to be professionals. We have to be ready to go out there and compete, no matter who's out there.
Stephen Watson.
Khris, that winning streak was going to have to come to an end eventually. But what did you learn about this team over the last 8 games and 12 of 13 that made you guys so successful?
Just figuring it out. I mean, we're going to win many games. We're going to lose some games. Hopefully win more than lose. But, continue to try to get better. Continue to play each possession. Continue to trust one another. I think that's what we saw during this stretch. So hopefully we can start a new one here.
Thanks, Khris.